Hey, everybody. So, it has happened. Haynes King is transferring to Georgia Tech. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a video last week talking about how Georgia Tech should be looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal. And it has come true to fruition because, we are down to two quarterbacks now, right? We had Jeff Sims, our starter, transfer out. We had Zach Pyron. He's staying. He was a true freshman this year, and he became a starter after Jeff Sims went down. But he has actually broke his clavicle too. And besides that, he's just very young. He's a true freshman. And then, of course, we have Zach Gibson, who is a not, in my opinion, starting material, but a good serviceable backup. And then we have Tyson Pumachan, who is the fourth string. He's going to be transferring out too. So we're down to two quarterbacks, the two Zachs. And we're bringing in Haynes King for depth, yes, and also, I think, in my opinion, to get the starting job at Georgia Tech. I think that Haynes King is probably going to be the starter going into the 2023 season. And I think this is great. I think that we really needed, I was talking about this, Zach Pyron, as good as he is, and he would be the starter, in other circumstances, but he's just young. That's all it is with Zach Pyron. He is, he was a true freshman this year. And look, we did the Jeff Sims young quarterback thing for 2 years, and you just don't want to have a young and experienced quarterback as your starter that's going to be making a ton of mistakes and everything like that. It's just not a very good idea. And also we needed depth too. So I'm excited about the way our quarterback room looks going into this next season, because this is just what we needed. And look, a lot of people are going to besmirch this, like, oh, big whoop, it's freaking Haynes King. He didn't do a great job at Texas A&M. Look, Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M runs a very complicated offense, and it is outdated, and he tries to force it on his players, and it doesn't work, okay? And he's not going to be able to get the most out of his players, all right? And a lot of people, the big knock on Haynes King is, well, he comes out and throws, he doesn't have a good throw motion. He has, he throws interceptions and stuff like that. So is Jeff Sims. Winkie fixed that. Our quarterback's coach, Chris Winkie, Heisman quarterback, national championship Florida State quarterback Chris Winkie, fixed that in one offseason. He fixed it in one offseason, all of Jeff Sims' problems. And Jeff Sims, by the way, transferring to Nebraska, that'll be another video. But he fixed Jeff Sims' issues in one offseason. We put up with 2 seasons of Jeff Sims, throwing interceptions, turning the ball over, not making good decisions, bad reads, and stuff like that. And Winkie came in and fixed that, and he's been doing a great job. So I have faith that Winkie is going to be able to coach Haynes King up and get the potential out of him, because he was a highly rated quarterback coming out of high school. He was, in Texas, he was a 4-star. He's very mobile, which is what we need. Okay, that would be a pro to his. We need a mobile quarterback because we don't have a very good offensive line. We are getting that shored up. Brent Key has been doing a great job, I think, in recruiting the O-line and trying to get that beefed up. We're still very young. So a quarterback with mobility is going to help out a lot, and I think that is a great fit for Georgia Tech. A lot of people suggested, we get JT Daniels out of the portal. Well, listen, you can't have a pocket passing quarterback with no pocket, right? So that's what you kind of need, Haynes King. You need a Jeff Sims. You need somebody who can run, and then you have to develop them as a passer and first, okay? And so that is what I think needs to happen with Haynes King, and I think that's going to happen. We have a pretty good stable of wide receivers coming back. We're, of course, losing our best wide receiver, Nate McCollum, to where? I don't know. Possible he comes back out of the portal. Possible. I hope so. But other than that, I still do feel like we have a pretty good wide receivers room. and I think that we're going to be looking good on offense. Look, we're not going to be scoring less than 20 points a game this upcoming year. I like where we're at on offense. Our offensive line is improving. They were very young this year, and I think it's only up from here. Okay, so any detractors from Haynes King, I blame it on Jimbo. Okay, Jimbo and Texas A&M have been just absolutely stacked with talent, and they had, for God's sake, they had the freaking best recruiting class in the history of college football last year. Went 5-7 this year. Now everybody's transferring out. All those players don't suck because they played on a team that was 5-7. Okay, it's Jimbo's fault. Okay, it's Jimbo's fault. He didn't develop them. He didn't play to their strengths, and that is what we did. That's what we were doing. That's why we were able to beat North Carolina and give Georgia a good game and on the last 2 games of the season, even though we had a 3rd and 4th string quarterback. We had a 3rd string quarterback who couldn't run. We had a 4th string quarterback who couldn't pass. So we used their strengths. We brought them in. We realized what they were capable of, and we were able to run our offense on the fly to their strengths, and we were able to get the most out of them and get the win against North Carolina. And I think that is what we'll do with Haynes King too. And I'm very happy about this. He was one of the quarterbacks that I mentioned out of the portal, and I want to give a huge shout out to our new wide receiver Chase Lane, who is also coming from Texas A&M. He's been there for a long time. He's been there. He's got a podcast and everything else, and he. As soon as he got here, this guy is great. I love him already. He's big into the social media, and he immediately got here and engaged with the fan base and started talking to us on Twitter, and immediately started recruiting his teammate. He started recruiting for us. He convinced his teammates, to come out and visit, and we got the commitment. And we're looking at also a linebacker from Texas A&M because that is a position of need too. From the portal. So that is what we're going to be looking at. We're looking at a very exciting signing day coming up too, because we also got a new D-line commit that flipped to Georgia Tech. I think he was committed to App State. So recruiting is picking up for Georgia Tech. We're going to finish strong. Haynes King is just the first. This is amazing. We really needed this. This is exactly what I was saying in the video the other week about how we need a quarterback that has experience that Zach Pyron can learn from and get a year, to heal and develop, and Zach Pyron can learn from him. Now, Haynes King actually has 3 years of eligibility left. So it could be a situation. I don't really know how that's going to work. Assuming Haynes King has a good year, maybe he comes back the next year. Maybe Zach Pyron actually winds up transferring. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But, when I was talking about getting an experienced quarterback, which is what Haynes King is, he's had, starting experience. I was thinking more of somebody who, didn't have much eligibility left, maybe 1 year, something like Brennan Armstrong. And he could just come in here for 1 year, and then Zach Pyron could take over from there. But you never know how it goes with the transfer portal these days. Players, get flipped in and out all the time, and they're leaving and coming and going. So you can't, I guess, really think like that as far as eligibility goes. That was kind of what I was thinking. So who knows? Here's hoping that Haynes King really develops into a great quarterback and stays for the next couple of years and goes to the NFL. What Georgia Tech really needs is to put a quarterback in the NFL. Get a quarterback drafted, because that has not been something that, if we want to keep getting these good quarterbacks, it is what it is. Haynes King is, a retread. He lost his job at Texas A&M. I think he's still a great player, but, maybe next time we get Haynes King out of high school, if we are able to kind of prove that we're able to do that. That's how it goes. That's what Arkansas did with Felipe Franks, for example. That's what South Carolina's doing with Spencer Rattler. You take maybe a retread, you coach him up, you get him drafted, and then you can pitch that to recruits. That's what's exciting about Haynes King. I think he's going to do great for us. I think we got to get him some weapons, okay? We need a running back. We need a running back out of the portal. And I'm going to make a video about I'm going to make a video about, a transfer wish list and whatnot. But this is one to check off, okay? Haynes King, couldn't be more stoked. And welcome to Atlanta, Haynes King. And thank you, Chase Lane, for recruiting him here. Very kind of you. Keep up the good work. Go Jackets. And I'll see you guys next time.